And so the fourth program of WEC is the funding network. This is usually the most interesting ones for the entrepreneurs. So I'm going to try to keep short description. So typically, if you're familiar with Central Texas Angel Network and other angel networks, a lot of organizations tend to focus on a certain dollar amount. So an angel network will focus, a lot of them, like CTAN for example, if you're business, you're an entrepreneur and you want to raise $250,000 to $1 million. And if you want to raise $100,000, you need to find somewhere else to go. If you want to raise $2 million, you need to find somewhere else to go because venture capital won't look at you until you need to raise more than $5 million. So there's funding, but there are gaps in funding. So in order to remedy this, the Wilco Funding Network is set up in order to facilitate whether you need $1,000 to fund funding all the way up to $1 million. So if you look at this from the top to the bottom, it's an increasing dollar amount. So bootstrap is a concept where you essentially, just like bootstrapping, put yourself by your own bootstraps, you start the business without any funding, or just a little bit of your funding that you get from your job, and you get the ball rolling and you get a first customer, and that money pays for your next development that you do, and that money pays for more equipment that you buy, etc. So you basically fund yourself on the customers. That's the bootstrap model, doesn't require any financing most of the time. Then you have your traditional funding where you have banks, credit unions where you go and apply for a loan. Then you have alternative ones, and this is often a missed area, is where, and there's few firms that specialize in this, where you find different ways of financing. So for example, let's say you're a construction company and you need to purchase $100,000 worth of equipment in order to finish a project. But you need to, so what you can do is you can get a loan against the value of the equipment in order to buy the equipment. And it gets complex because then you need to, well, we need $20,000 down in order to do that. So there's a lot of ways to fund. So there's just one of like 70 different ways that actually get enumerated by one of the specialists that does this. So there's a lot of very unusual ways of funding businesses as well, and that's where alternative funding goes in. And then we have the seed funding, which, as I mentioned before, we have angel networks that look at businesses. Okay, if you need $250,000 and above, that's when we look at you. Well, seed funding is designed for $1,000 to $100,000, where you can still do equity-based funding or debt funding, but to get your businesses started. And then we have our angel funding, which is actually, we have a Wilco Angel Network that we formed, and we actually had businesses present to that, and some of them were funded by angel investors from Wilco community. So that's already going on, and that functions as a traditional angel network. And then lastly, there's exotic funding. We have a project that is essentially flying car. It's very hard to find funding for like that without a patron, somebody that will be interested in owning an exotic toy or something like that. But we also have links to that funding. So there's a lot of ways to raise funding, and what we've done with the WEC Funding Network is we brought all that together under one area, with one group, so that when an entrepreneur comes in, most of the times, especially if it's the first time raising funding, they don't even know where they're supposed to go. They just heard the VC, they've seen some movies, they've seen Shark Tank, I need to go to VC funding. And then we're like, no, you're just going to get a bunch of no's, and they're going to tell you, go look at this one. So WEC also, so the fourth program, the funding network, serves as a resource as to how for entrepreneurs to get funding. And it covers, instead of just specializing in one area, it covers the entire range, so that we should be the one-stop shop, and if an entrepreneur comes to WEC, we should be able to direct him elsewhere. I've already covered some of these details. The Angel Network has its own website at wentex.org if anybody's interested in that. So in summary, this is WEC on one slide. This is right. But again, the big part of that being is the 4 programs: network, support, talent, and funding. And then we have all these little things happening. So it's a busy slide, but because we do a lot of things. And we're actually doing them. So again, I invite you to if you haven't heard of us before, to get involved and check it out. This is sort of, again, as to what we've been doing. This is a rough calendar of what we've been involved in. Again, our weekly meetings are still going on. When the Rapid Launch program is going on right now, another session starts in August. We had our seed network funding meeting. We have some investors sign up for that. The accelerator program launches in August. The angel network, we've already had our first round. We already raised some funding for entrepreneurs. And then we're continually getting involved with chambers of commerce and EDCs in order to keep the community growing and healthy. So how do you get involved into WEC? The best place to start is come to the WEN meeting. So where it all started, where the bantering, kind of figure out what entrepreneurs are doing, what it's all about. Here's the WEN schedule, what we've been up to. So again, kind of explaining what goes on there. We had a talk by Christopher Hazing on business models. Lamar Romero, he's the alternate funding specialist. He gave us the last talk. The next, on June 10th, we're going to have a business bantering proposal. Shin Wu will be talking about his solution for Wi-Fi networks in communities. And then on June 24th, we're going to have in Round Rock, James Lofton and Alex Hill talk about social media. They kind of talk about what they do and educating others about social media and how to use that. So we want you to get involved. We're a very open organization, so if you want to get involved in any way, you think somebody you know might want to get involved, we'll welcome you with open arms. And we're looking for investors, not in that order. Investors, mentors, entrepreneurs, and interns. So everybody, if you know anybody that can fit into anything I described, I'll be glad to link them up with the right people and help grow the community. Here's how to reach us. Our website is at wectex.org. We have a Google group where the announcements come out. We have a LinkedIn group, and then you can follow us on Twitter as well. And so, thanks for listening. Again, I'm Tristan Slominski, and no questions, I guess?
Well, you did such a nice job. Thank y'all so much, and Tristan, thank you. As you heard, this is an exciting and was a very much needed initiative in Williamson County. You know, one thing that's really set Central Texas apart is its entrepreneurial community. Whether it was Dell being founded in a college dorm room or initiatives like this, you know, we may have the next Dell or company like that created through initiatives such as this.